We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. It's an old proverb which I'm sure some of you have heard of before. But before we get to that quote and how it's related to the rest of the speech, hello everyone. To start this all off, I'm sure you've all heard of this word called conservation. Yes. And if you haven't, it's pretty much defined as the prevention of a wasteful use of a resource. And I'm sure we've all conserved something before, whether that be money, food, or anything else that we find valuable. Most of the time, we tend to neglect some of the more essential but less considered needs in our day-to-day lives, as they're so crucial we can't imagine a world without them, such as water, energy, and soil. We've all probably left the sink running or have left chargers in their ports, even when it's not being used. But do you know that at least 2.2 billion people still lack safe water? Over 660 million have no electricity, and 1.5 billion live on degraded soils, according to the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. And all of that applies to my country, the Philippines, where not everyone has the privilege or access to clean and consistent sources of these very valuable resources. And we tend to put some of it, perhaps most of it, to waste. But before we get into the rest of this speech is split into several segments. We will talk about water conservation, soil conservation, and energy conservation, and the ways to conserve, and lastly, our conclusion.
Do you turn off the lights when not being used? Or do you turn off the television when you're not watching? Or even at least turning off the lamp? Or maybe at least set the air conditioner with a timer? Well, do you even save as much electricity as you can? Well, as citizens, people, and as students, we should always try to conserve energy as much as we can. It's important to always conserve and save energy, as we know, as people or humans that live here on Earth, that it is unhealthy to the environment. In such, not saving energy will lead to the death of our planet or environment, whereas it will give our planet harmful pollution. Now, according to multiple websites and articles like constantenergy.com or saveonenergy.com, saving electricity is crucial and important as it conserves finite natural resources, reduces harmful pollution and greenhouse gas emissions that contributes to climate change and poor air quality. Additionally, it also saves individuals and businesses money on utility bills and enhances energy security and independence by lessening reliances on non-renewable energy. So, always remember to help our planet or environment and save as much as energy as we can. As they said, the place you make, the environment you take, and the earth you break is the earth you deserve.
Half of Filipino families have access to running and piped water. According to SWS, only 67% have running water, which is equivalent to around 7.
Save water, save life. Every drop of water we waste is a drop we can never get back. Imagine brushing your teeth with the water running or taking a shower so long it could be a concert. Little habits like this that add up fast. Here's the serious truth. Less than 1% of all the water on Earth is actually safe for us to actually use. The rest is either salty, frozen, or too dirty. If we don't take care of these tiny amounts, we could struggle with hunger, drought, or worse, death. That's what the real problem is. But here's the good news. Saving water is a simple task. Turn off running water, fix a leak, reuse what you can. These are tiny changes with huge impact. If we start caring today, we're not just conserving water, we're protecting today's future. So let's be the generation that doesn't let our planet run dry. Because once the well is empty, we cannot drink excuses. Thank you.
I am the soil. I am in the hills and in the valleys, the farms, the orchards. Without me, humans could not exist. But you treat me like dirt.
Do you know the importance of soil? In the Philippines, it is the foundation of farming, feeding millions every single day. Yet, our soil is slowly being destroyed. Erosion, deforestation, and poor waste management strip away the fertile layer that crops depend on. Each time, topsoil is lost. Farms grow weaker, and each time nutrients are depleted, harvest shrinks. But it doesn't end there. Soil doesn't just grow food, it also filters water and stores carbon. When we fail to conserve it, pollution builds up. Garbage, plastics, and harmful chemicals seep into the ground, poisoning not only the soil but also the water beneath it. Instead of being a source of life, the land turns into a carrier of toxins. The downside of not conserving soil is clear. No soil, no food. Without it, floods and landslides become more destructive, farmers lose their livelihoods, and families face hunger. What may look like plain dirt is actually the very ground of survival. If we let it be eroded and polluted, we risk a tomorrow where even our own fields can no longer sustain us.
What happens to the plastic cup you throw away, or the bag of garbage left on the street? In the Philippines, waste often ends up in open dumps, rivers, or even the ocean. According to the DENR 2023, we generate over 61,000 tons of waste every single day, and yet only a portion of it is properly managed. Mismanaged waste doesn't just make our surroundings dirty, it poisons, clogs waterways, and creates floods. Plastic in particular can take hundreds of years to break down. When we fail to manage waste responsibly, we multiply the problems of energy, water, and soil. Factories burn more fuel to create single-use plastics. Polluted rivers lose their ability to provide safe water, and soil suffocates under piles of garbage. The downside is simple. Our own waste circles back to us, whether in the food we eat, the water we drink, or the air we breathe.
Everyone, I'm Elias, and my part is actually what we can do in the Philippines. Most of our electricity still comes from coal and oil, which release harmful pollution. That's why even simple acts matters. Turning off unused lights, unplugging chargers, or even setting off timers in our appliances. Every time we save energy, we lessen the demand for burning fuels and reduce greenhouse gases. Water may save plenty with our rivers and rainfall, but only a small portion is safe to drink. Pollution from farms, factories, and even households puts clean water at risk. Conserving it can be as simple as fixed needs, turning off taps when not in use, and reusing water when possible. Every drop saved today secures tomorrow's supply. Lastly, soil is the base of our food. When it's lost to erosion or strip of nutrients, farmers struggle, and so do we. Protecting soil can start with planting trees, proper waste disposal, and supporting sustainable farming. And even composting food scraps at home helps return nutrients to the ground. By saving energy, water, and soil, we're not just conserving resources for the sake of conserving resources, we also ensure that plenty more people will get access to these resources with less pollution.
We have discussed conserving resources and how actions lock thereof. Impacts living things such as the environment. We discuss issues including pollution, even preserving the environment and properly disposing of waste. I'm asking you to protect our planet. So even if you start small, it's better than starting tomorrow. As now is always the best time to conserve and the only proper time to conserve. So let us not make excuses. Keep in mind that conserving resources is not merely something we ought to do. It is something we must do for our own and our children's future. Which lead us back to the proverb earlier, we are only borrowing the earth, not owning it. One day, we will hand it to the next generation. Let's make sure we leave behind a planet worth inheriting. So let us be caretakers of these resources so the world doesn't ever come to a point where our next generations to come have to survive off degraded resources, lacking resources to simply live. Because we've used up and polluted all of it. Let us do something help to save the planet, not simply talk about it. This is our earth, our responsibility.